Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are making Brut by Faberge. Brut is a classic men's aromatic fougere used right now as an aftershave. I know I have some upstairs in my bathroom. And this fragrance has been just destroyed over the years due to regulations and reformulations. But Frederworks has a great demo formula that shows what this fragrance used to be. It's brilliant, it's a beautiful formula. I've made this formula before, however, I didn't realize there were 2 pages to this formula. So I forgot to add Exaltolide, some, oranger crystals. I forgot to add some stuff. So we're gonna do it again. Now, before I get going, I like looking at the pyramid of how this fragrance is structured. Roughly 30%, 32% is that bottom, the base materials, stuff that's going to last over 100 hours on a strip. Then next up, we have 24% of the formula is stuff that lasts somewhere between 50 and 100 hours. 21% of this formula are in materials that last between, call it, 25 to 50 hours. As I classify it. And then the remaining 23% are in those top notes. Stuff that ranges between 10 hours on a strip, but dies pretty quickly in strength, to the stuff that's just there for 5 minutes. Interestingly, most of this formula is in the floral family. A fair bit is in musk. This is almost exclusively Musk Ambrette. There's a little Exaltolide in here, but it's mostly Musk Ambrette. There's some Sandalwoods, there's some Patchouli, there's a little bit of Vetiver, there's some vanilla and coumarin that's in the base. And then of course we have our lemon and bergamot up top. Benzyl Salicylate is this 8% up here, I believe. So that's a fair bit of benzyl salicylate. And then, we have some lavandin, some allspice, some basil, for some aromatic notes. But interestingly, it's mostly florals. So let's get started. Today what we're going to do is we're not going to start from the bottom up, starting with the Musk Ambrette and then going from there. What we're going to do is we are going to start with the floral notes. We are going to start with Hydroxycitronellol. Hydroxycitronellol is almost 9% of the formula, so this is a fair bit. Per usual, I will put my end formula in the show notes. All right, and also per usual, I'm going to set these aside when I'm done using them. Let's do Linalool next. Linalool, almost 6% of the formula. Linalool is fresh, it's slightly floral, it is metallic, maybe it's just a hint of like a bright fruit. It contrasts with the hydroxycitronellol that is floral, but it's more transparent, definitely more watery. Okay, now we've got a good bit of our formula already in place. How about the phenyl ethyl alcohol? I'm going to have to refill this. 1.75% of the formula. All right, next, benzyl alcohol. I need to remind myself what benzyl alcohol smells like. I don't use it that often. It doesn't come across many formulations. But let's give it a try. Same amount of benzyl alcohol as there is phenyl ethyl alcohol. It's definitely floral. Need to let that relax a little bit more. Let's move on to geranium. Geranium, bourbon or Bourbon. 3.5%. Interesting that this is such a high amount in the formula. Geranium to me is pretty strong. Geranium can easily push out other materials. If you don't want geranium to be the focus of a fragrance, you do need to be delicate as to how much you're putting in the formulation. Oranger. Oranger crystals or methyl naphthyl ketone. Just a splash of this. Whenever I see oranger in a fragrance, there's rarely very much. It always seems to be a supporting material. It's floral, but it's also citrusy. It's a nice in-between. Let's check in on our benzyl alcohol. Okay, good to refresh myself on benzyl alcohol. It's floral. It's a little balsamic as well. What are we doing? Ylang extra. Okay. 0.58%. Ylang is also a wonderful supporting material. I'm sure it's a great focal point, but it's very strong. It's very fatty, waxy, narcotic, and it can make you sick if you've got too much of it in the air. You know, it's unsettling. Benzyl acetate. Love benzyl acetate. Only recently, and I can't believe it's taken me so long, but only recently have I been able to smell jasmine and be able to pick out the benzyl acetate. Only within the last month have I been able to do that. Which I'm not sure why it took me so long, but hey, that's I guess that's what happens in the brain and in the nose. Heliotropin. All right, heliotropin. The heliotropin I have is diluted. It comes pre-diluted 20% in benzyl benzoate. Like from Perfumer's Apprentice, I believe. I wish I could get just the pure stuff, but I might need a permit or something for that. Heliotropin is wonderful. It's a cherry. It's a floral cherry smell. It's very rich. It's gorgeous. But as Aaron Terrence Hughes says, it is a precursor to MDMA, which is a drug, I guess. So I would imagine might be a controlled substance. Amyl salicylate. Okay, there's a fair bit of salicylates in this. We're going to do benzyl salicylate, which I should probably get a pipette for, and amyl salicylate. It does not take much of amyl salicylate or benzyl salicylate to really change your formula. If you want to give it, I can't even say it to make it to floralize it. Salicylates have a meaningful effect on what it is that you're doing. So to me, it's so interesting that if you've got something that you like, if you have a formula that you're working on and it's pleasant, I would cut that formula into thirds and then see what happens if you put amyl salicylate in one, benzyl salicylate in another, methyl salicylate, cis-3-hexanyl salicylate, whatever it is. Just see what happens. It's powerful stuff. I guess it's like calone. You don't need much calone for it to really have an effect on your fragrance. All right, next up, we've got Rhodinol. Fair bit of Rhodinol in here. Nice floral material. It's also bright. Here, let's give this a test. Give it a test strip. We'll put it next to the benzyl alcohol. We'll let you chill out. Yeah, benzyl alcohol is interesting. Interesting stuff. Okay. Oh, I didn't end benzyl salicylate yet. Okay, Rhodinol. 0.4 grams in this recipe. This is 4.65% of the concentrate. Overdid it a touch. Okay, Anisaldehyde, Anisaldehyde. I'm not sure if I want to put this in now or if I want to wait. I might wait. I think I'm going to wait. Let's do the salicylate. I love Anisaldehyde. Here it is. It's wonderful. It reminds me of salicylates. I mean, it's got the aldehydic effect, but it's richer. It's deeper. And it lasts, I think, a little bit longer than other aldehydes. Rhodinol. It's nice. So nice. Let's get back to Rhodinol. This is Rhodinol 70. It reminds me of citronellol. It's like a cross between citronellol and linalool to my nose. It's rosy, but it's a little bit metallic. It's a little brighter and a little sharp, but it's good stuff. All right, Benzyl Salicylate, 0.7 grams in this recipe, in this formula. 8% of this fragrance is benzyl salicylate. I always thought benzyl salicylate was something like a modifier. I didn't think it could be the core of a fragrance. And then I saw the formula for Kenzo pour Homme, I believe is the name, and it was 25% or 24% benzyl salicylate. Let's see, am I going to need more of this? No, I got time. Okay, we are done with the floral base. So stir that up. It already smells good. It smells fresh. But we're going to let this chill while we put in we're going to go with the aromatics, the basil, the lavandin, the allspice, and then we're going to do the anisaldehyde as well. We're just going to call these aromatics while that is resting. Let's start with the anisaldehyde. Now the anisaldehyde or anisic aldehyde, it's very nice. Again, whenever I smell aldehydes, they're kind of waxy. I get the same vibe from salicylates, interestingly. I get that waxiness, but anisaldehyde, where are you at? Here we go, 0.25. I think I have this classified as fruity, but I need to change that. I have it classified incorrectly because to my nose, this is definitely aldehydic. Okay. That's going to add a nice effect. I think. Ooh, I can already smell it come out of here, and I'm already getting brut. So interestingly, let's just smell it. Shoot. Yeah, the floral. I'm already getting brut. I'm not getting the aromatic side of brut or that musk side, but I'm already. It's soapy, but I'm already can tell we're headed in the brut direction, which is. I'll bet you by the time we add in the aromatics that it'll be obvious what we're trying to do here. Lavandin Grosso, 6.5, almost 6.5% of the formula, 0.55. Okay. Thank you, Lavandin. Let's do basil. Basil is one of my favorite things to smell. Maybe not out of the bottle, but my little herb garden on my deck. Absolutely love the smell of basil. Yeah, don't want to overdo that. Last up, allspice or pimento berry, 1%. If you don't have allspice, you can just use a little eugenol or isoeugenol. The more I smell things, smell how things react, it is, ooh. Rhodinol's changing. It's becoming a bit more green. Interesting. All right, let's give this a little mix, and then we're going to move on to the other stuff. All right, let's go back to the florals. We'll give it a smell. Yeah, nice. It's interesting. This is a soapy. I think it may be the salicylates. Let's see what else. It's just soapy. Methyl Antrhanilate. I didn't get methyl anthranilate. I need methyl anthranilate. Methyl anthranilate. Whoopsie daisy. I need to add this. This is another thing I forgot in my last batch. And there's only a splash. There's only in this formula 0.5% of the formula is this, or basically 3 drops in this particular formulation. Methyl anthranilate to me just smells like Pez. It's fruity, it's floral, but it's like Pez. For the best way, chalky? I don't know. Or Tums. Yeah. Smells great and is one of the key ingredients in Yop Om, by the way. It's one of the ingredients that gives Yop Om its characteristic. Well, you know. If you know Yop Om, then you know. Let's get one more. All right. Definitely aromatic. Definitely aromatic. Whew. That's very nice. The basil adds a really nice touch. Methyl anthranilate. Make sure we add that. Give it a swirl. We'll give it a dip. Put it back. Okay. So next up, we're going to save the bergamot and the lemon for last. What we're going to do, we're also going to save the Musk Ambrette for last. I want to see, because this is 15% of the formula, and I'm doing a 10% dilution. So when I put this in, I'll put in some alcohol, but everything else is at 10% dilution because this was originally released as an eau de toilette. So it'll be a 10% dilution, but I want to see what effect Musk Ambrette has on the fragrance as a whole, given its amount, given what Musk Ambrette is. This stuff is banned in the European Union. It's not used anymore for fragrances. Something about, I can't remember if it was allergies or neurological effects that Musk Ambrette had. So let's do this. Let's start with, we'll start with Exaltolide. There's a little bit of Exaltolide. And then we're going to do the vanillin and the coumarin. Actually, we're just going to add in all the things. Vanillin, coumarin. Yeah, we'll do the vetiver. Then we got sandalwoods and then oakmoss. I'm going to be using the banned oakmoss that I got. Not the Robertet, for compliant oak moss. They do smell very similar. I'd say the banned oak moss is a bit smoother, little less harsh, but they might as well be completely exchangeable. Vanillin. Okay. I love what vanillin does. It doesn't sweeten things up necessarily, but it can smooth things out. Coumarin. Just 2 drops and a splash. No. Maybe a bit more. Okay, here we go. We're done. Okay. So let's do the oak moss. You know what? No. We'll save the oak moss. What we're going to do is we're going to add the sandalwoods, because functionally speaking, Exaltolide, sandalwoods, vanillin, maybe not coumarin, but functionally to my nose, they all do kind of the same thing. They set a base tone, they set a smoothness, and they kind of give this richness and they bolster the bottom end of the fragrance. They support the fragrance. Vetiver, patchouli, even the oak moss do the same thing, but they give it a bit more color. So because sandalwood and Exaltolide, for example, are relatively neutral, I think I'm okay smelling these all together and then going from there. So sandalwood, Jivco, I don't have any real sandalwood, Mysore sandalwood, Indian sandalwood. I don't have any of that, but the sandalwood Jivco, it's legit. It smells fantastic. Good. Sandela 85. Now the original, or at least Fraterworks demo formula calls for Sandela 50. Don't have Sandela 50, so I adjusted the formula given Sandela 85's higher concentration of that active aroma chemical. All right, so let's give this a smell. Drop it in here. We'll put base 1. I'm going to get another one ready. We're going to call this base color because this is going to give us the patchouli, the vetiver, and the oak moss. All right, let's go back to, this is the floral, the aromatics with the methyl anthranilate. Oh, that just smells wonderful. Oh, you can smell a subtle difference with the methyl anthranilate. Oh, that's subtle though, but that's very nice. It just gives it a bit like a fruitier, brighter, sends it in that direction. Okay, base, we need to let that chill. I can still, if I can still see the alcohol on the strip, that means I need to give it more time to evaporate because I don't want that alcohol in my nose. Okay, oak moss, Yugoslavian, or from Yugoslavia, green oak moss. And it does have a nice green color. Okay. Perfect. That smells nice. Smells very nice. Vetiver Bourbon. Or bourbon. Vetiver Bourbon. Just a splash of this stuff. Oh, and it looks like I need to refill. Perfect timing. Okay, 0.08. So that's about 6 drops. That's good. Set this aside. I love bourbon vetiver. To me, it's nice and dark and rich. And then we have patchouli, dark and aged from Indonesia. I'm fairly certain almost any patchouli is going to work because the patchouli amount is not that much. It's about 1 3/4% of the formula. Of course, Fraterworks sells a dark aged patchouli, which I'm sure is amazing. But, if you have dark patchouli, you're going to be fine. If you have patchouli heart, you're probably going to be fine. Any patchouli will probably work. One more drop. All right, friends. We're going to smell this. Then we're going to add the Musk Ambrette. And we're going to, we're going to call it. Okay. So let's smell everything. The florals, the aromatics with the methyl anthranilate, of course. And then we added our base. This is a vanilla, coumarin, sandalwood, and Exaltolide. And right now we're already at Brut. Everything from here on out is going to be something that just bolsters it, really confirms in our brain what it is that we're smelling. But you can tell this is aromatic fougere with a solid rosy floral heart. It's very nice. There's no brightness to it right now because we have not added the lemon or the bergamot. We're going to do that last. Okay, so for Musk Ambrette, 15% of this formula is Musk Ambrette. Might have to get out the heater for this. Turn that on. 1.3 grams of Musk Ambrette at 10%. Now, I could just pull out my Musk Ambrette, you know, and do the drop, but I figured why not put in 0.13 grams of the actual Musk Ambrette crystals, and then I will fill up the rest with perfumer's alcohol. Okay, that'll work. That will work. Come on, hot plate. Okay. Won't take long for this to dissolve once I heat it up. All right, that's fully diluted. What we're going to do now is fill this up until it hits 1.3 or 1.25. Perfect. Okay, give that a swirl. Let's dip. Now this is with our Musk Ambrette. We're going to let this settle while we add in the final bits. Lemon, bergamot. There's a fair bit of this stuff. 11% of the formula is lemon and bergamot. Most of it's lemon. Lemon, 9.3%. Right. Last up, bergamot, 0.2. All right, friends, in here is a wonderful, hopefully, formulation of Faberge Brut. Let's give it a dip. We'll let it chill. Let's smell it without the top, but with the base, the Musk Ambrette, to remind ourselves. So this has florals, the aromatics, the sandalwood, the Exaltolide, vanilla, coumarin, patchouli, and the vetiver, and the oakmoss. And this alone is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Let's smell it with the Musk Ambrette, see what effect it has. Interesting. At first, I can't smell much. Can't smell much difference, other than it's harder to smell the florals. If you have a bunch of florals or you have some brighter materials, one way to dampen them is to just put a heavier material in there, like a musk. Something that's solid at room temperature, like vanilla, coumarin, Musk Ambrette. It smells wonderful, but the nice part about that is it delays the evaporation of those more volatile materials. Okay, let's smell the top, then we're going to put this on skin. Ah, a little brighter. Nice, that lemon. That lemon helps just give it a nice top note. Something up top. All right, we're just going to put a couple drops on the hand. Rub it around. Oh, okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I've smelled vintage fragrances and then reformulated versions that really tried to match what the vintage was doing. There are some fragrances, say like Habit Rouge, where the new formulation is nowhere near the 1965 version of Habit Rouge. But there are formulations like is it Dolce & Gabbana Lum? Now I'm going to mess it up. It's not Dolce & Gabbana. Hold on. There are fragrances like Versace L'Homme. Versace L'Homme, the new version, they reformulated it, but they tried to make it smell like the old version. And you can smell that they don't smell the same. Something is different. And maybe it's the Musk Ambrette that they couldn't put in the new Versace L'Homme. But smelling this versus the new Brut, I get the vibe that yes, this is clearly new Brut, just old, classy, rich. I'm gonna let this age a little bit. I'm gonna put it in a bottle. I'm gonna let it chill. I'm gonna put it in a tester and then wear that a bit. That is nice. Friends, I'm gonna put this, I'll have the links all in the show notes. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.